Junior Board of Directors is proud to support Faribault Community Television.
Faribault, North Johnson here with your Chamber of Commerce, as well as your General Manager group for the Industrial Corporation, which we've been doing out of the Chamber of Commerce. And of course, I think everybody knows we have a tourism office here for Faribault. And lastly, home of the Chamber Trust. That's our 501c3 nonprofit wing. Some really good news for the Chamber Trust. I think I mentioned it before, but during this last year, we were awarded for the Chamber Trust $200,000 from the Department of Education to help in the efforts with the high school and the college and working through our H2C pathways as high school to college and career. So we were able to buy some MIG welders and some other things for the high school. Also are able to pay some staff time in order to help organize a new program, I shouldn't say new, a developing program that we've been working on with some real champions from Faribault Public Schools for nearly 3 years. And we got some money to help with the organizational work on that. And just last week, we were awarded an additional $50,000 to help even further, and we're buying reading materials with part of that for our schools that talk about specifically what do I do if I want to be a plumber, or I want to be a mechanic, or I want to be a doctor, etc. So some really good books that we're going to be adding into the mix with that, with the help of Tracy Corcoran from Faribault Public Schools. So really thrilled about that. Also, I should share elections. We made it. We're through the elections. I think we've got some new blood in some offices in Faribault. I think it's always good to have a well-rounded board or council. And I look forward to some of the new faces and helping ensure that we're doing the right things around those important bodies in Faribault. State-wise, I think I'm excited about the outcome with regard to education. I know that sometimes it's a little dicey if you've got one party that controls the House and the Senate and the executive branch. That also means that some of their most important items should shine through. We've been a fan of equalizing funding, especially for rural schools, and most specifically for rural Minnesota schools that have challenges with demographics and poverty, and that describes Faribault Public Schools. And I'll say it again, our group in Faribault does a fantastic job with our school district, and every bit of help that we can get to ensure that they have funding, at least somewhat close to what some of the larger schools in the metro and even some of our neighboring Big 9 schools have. So we're going to hold the legislature's feet to the fire with regard to fully funding education, and we'll be working on that for everybody here in town. Lastly, I guess I wanted to share that it has been, I guess at best, an awesome year, even coming out of COVID for the Chamber of Commerce and some of the work that we've been able to inspire and organize with some of our fantastic partners. So we're especially excited because we've now finished up our planning for next year around what will be our Vision Task Force work, our Chamber Board of Directors work, and work that we're helping with the Industrial Corporation and the Chamber Trust in order to continue the good things happening in Faribault. Around schools, around downtown, and around housing are the specific items that we're working on with partners. With that, happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. Please, everybody take a breath. Enjoy your families, enjoy your neighbors, enjoy your friends. Reach out to everybody that you can. Just give them a hello, a kind word. Sometimes it's very much needed, and you never know who that is or when they need it. So spread the love. Merry Christmas.
All right, Kevin O'Brien here at Faribault Park and Rec Aquatic Supervisor. Just giving you a quick update on our winter programming. Our winter programs are open for registration, so sign up online, check our Buckham Bulletin for program offerings. Some big programs we've got coming are Frostival in early January, and then Neon Night mid-January. On January 14th is Neon Night. Very popular events, glow sticks, the gym, the pool. We all lit up for Neon Night and Frostival in North Alexander Park with winter outdoor activities. We hope everyone's having a great holiday. Be safe, have fun. See you next year.
Hello. My name is Katie, and I'm Operations Manager here at Riverbend Nature Center, and I'm presenting to you December's programs. Join us Saturday, December 3rd for Birds and Bagels and Reduce, Reuse, and Recycle programs. We'll have Little Sprouts on December 10th and 13th, learning about animal signs and snow fun. It's a parent-child class for ages 5 years and younger, dressed to be outside. It'll be a lot of fun. Join us December 12th for homeschool from 1 to 3 p.m. It'll be about how do animals survive winter. And Wednesday, December 14th, will be our Lunch and Learn program with Dustin Dienst, talking about wetland conservation. And then join me Saturday, December 17th for Community Science Bird ID. We're gonna see what birds hang around in Minnesota winters. And lastly, I invite you to save the date for January 6th for our full moon luminary snowshoe hike. We hope to see you here at Riverbend Nature Center. Thank you for your support.
Hi, my name is Chad, and I'm the pharmacy manager at Hy-Vee here in Faribault. And just a reminder of with the fall and winter coming and everyone having a little more illness and stuff like that, to stop in and get your flu shot. We still have them available, as well as the new COVID-19 booster. We have that available by appointment. And then it's also a good time of year to keep up to date with your other vaccines, such as your shingles shot, your pneumonia shot, and keep those up to date so that you don't fall behind on those. So we'd love to see you come in, and after you get your shot, if you want to keep your prescriptions here as well, we can always do that too. Happy holidays from Hy-Vee Pharmacy.
Dr. Michael Ritchie, I want to talk to you today about eyelid surgery. Now, some people have droopy eyelids and they want to have them fixed. We can do that. It's a relatively straightforward procedure, but in order to make sure that insurance is going to help cover this, we have to prove that this is a surgery that will make your vision better. So we do some testing. We do a test where we measure your peripheral vision. And we have to show that the peripheral vision with your lids in normal position is reduced, but if we raise the lids up, we get improvement in the peripheral vision, demonstrating that eyelid surgery is to make your vision better. Now, for many people, this is a pretty straightforward surgery. You probably have seen people where they have extra eyelid skin and the extra skin is hanging down. It's almost like a hood. Well, that's what's blocking their vision. But before we decide exactly how to fix this, we have to assess whether or not the eyelid itself works normally. So let's assume this is the eye, and here's the optic nerve, and here's the eyelid. The muscles that open the eyelid come from behind the eye and attach to the eyelid. And when those muscles relax, your eye is closed, and when the muscle contracts, your eye is open. Think of that muscle like you would a garage door opener. For most of us, when the garage door opens, it's open all the way. If we've got extra skin hanging down blocking our vision, that's one thing, but the lid is functioning normally. For some of us, however, the garage door chain has slipped. So the garage door opener thinks the eye is open all the way, but the lid's at half mast. If your garage door opener chain slips, the motor thinks the door's open, but the door's only halfway open. To fix that problem, we have to reattach the chain. We have to reattach the muscle. And we can do that surgically. So when we evaluate you for your eyelids, we're going to determine, hey, does your garage door opener work? If it works, then it's just a skin issue. If the garage door opener has slipped, then it's a skin issue plus tighten up the chain. Okay? Either way, from your perspective as a patient, it's the same surgery. Nothing's going to be different for you. It's a little bit different in how we approach it surgically, but your recovery time, your surgical experience, they're the same. So let's talk through what to expect after surgery. Well, the big thing with this is swelling and bruising. Every time we operate on the eyelids, there's going to be some swelling and bruising. Our goal is to minimize that. So we want you off of all blood thinners. We have a list. We can review that with you. Even some vitamins are blood thinners, so we go over all of that. Second, this is a surgery in the operating room. We start an IV. We give you a little bit of sedation, so we do need a pre-op physical from your doctor. When we do the surgery, it takes us 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to remove that extra skin. We're going to remove any fatty tissue underneath that might make the lids look puffy. And if your garage door chain has slipped, we'll tighten that muscle up. All of that gets done at the time of surgery as needed. When we're done, we suture it up. The sutures we use to close the wound are dissolvable, so you don't need to come back to have them removed. We have a pretty strict icing routine because swelling and bruising is the big problem. The more you ice, the better. We have an ice pack that we like you to get. It kind of looks like a mask. It's got a Velcro strap, so you can strap it on and keep a little bit of pressure. We're going to ice 15 minutes out of every hour while you're awake for day 1 and day 2. Day 3 is 15 minutes out of every 2 hours, and days 4, 5, and 6 is 4 times a day. So that's a week of pretty strict icing. But as the icing gets easier and less restrictive, you can be out and about a little bit more. Now, I have no trouble with people being up and about and around the house and going for a walk. That's not a problem. Nothing strenuous for that first week. And for people who exercise fairly strenuously, say in aerobics class, or you like to go into the gym and run, I'd like you to take it easy for week number 2 as well. Now, in addition to the icing, we like to have the head of your bed up just a little bit. That doesn't mean you have to sleep in a chair. If you have a bed that goes up just a little, we're looking for 30 degrees. That's not a lot. If you don't, just an extra pillow or 2 is all we need. In addition, when you sleep, I want you to wear the ice pack. It's not going to stay cold, but it will protect the sutures and it adds just a little bit of pressure. So just like you would wrap a sprained ankle to keep it from swelling, we keep a little bit of pressure that minimizes the swelling of the eyelids. If you go out and about in week 1 or week 2 and you feel like you've got a little too active and you can feel a little pulsing or throbbing, feel free to ice more. It's okay to ice more than we recommend, just don't ice less. Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's me, Miss Jenny, your favorite children's librarian. Thanks for joining me. I'm here to tell you about everything happening at your library in December. Can you believe that we're 1 month away from saying Happy New Year? Wow, this year has flown by quickly. We're going to kick things off with Winterfest. We'll be taking part of that as Buckham Center on Thursday, December 1st with Hometown Holidays. That is the Senior Center, Buckham West Senior Center will have Santa and live music. The Community Center will have snacks and games and other activities. And the library will be showing a family-friendly holiday film that is sure to be a favorite, and possibly a couple other activities as well along the way. So stay tuned for more details, and we hope to see you Thursday, December 1st, here at Buckham Center, 5 to 7:30. Also on December 1st, we're welcoming our good friend Kevin Strauss, who is a storyteller and an author, and he's also a water educator for Clean River Partners. Kevin Strauss is presenting two formats of his Itsy Bitsy Water Detective program. The first will be on actually in November on the 30th from 10 to 10:30 on Zoom, and in person on Thursday, December 1st, also from 10 to 10:30. That one will be in the children's early literacy area of the library. If you'd like to join via Zoom, just send me an email or a message and I'll make sure you get the link. Storytime is on a break until January. We are looking forward to welcoming you back after a short break with a variety of formats and times. And our book clubs, Books and Brownies and Pizza and Pages, will have their annual mixer meeting in December. That's on the 12th at 4:30. This is also a very popular event, so you do have to register. There is no question about it. I need to know if you're coming so I can make sure there's enough pizza and brownies for everyone. And we'll be discussing children's picture books. So the assignment for this meeting, no matter which club you're in, is to read any children's picture book of your choice and come talk about it while we enjoy both pizza and brownies. And that is, again, for grades 2 through 12. So contact me if you would like to join us. First Chapter Fridays continues in December. We have been reading the first chapter each of this year's Maud Hart Lovelace nominees. You can find all of these videos on the library's YouTube page. Just look for the playlist, First Chapter Fridays, MHL, or Maud Hart Lovelace nominees. Those air on YouTube every Friday at 4. Our Teen Advisory Board, or TAB, is meeting in December as well on Monday the 5th at 4:30 p.m. If you are interested in being a part of our Teen Advisory Board, you will need to contact me and I will make sure you get an application and tell you all about membership requirements. Our needlepoint group, Knit, Crochet, and Needlecraft, Stitch a Bit, will be meeting 3 times in December, on the 2nd from 10 to 11, the 5th from 6 to 7, and the 16th also from 10 to 11. Our director, Delane, leads these fun little get-togethers. There's no registration required. Just bring your own project, whether it's knitting, crocheting, or whatever other needlecraft you enjoy, and work on it in the company of friends and neighbors in the library's makerspace. And similarly, Lisa is leading a sewing group, Sew and Sew, and they are making boomerang bags. So if you want to join, we have everything you need. Just show up on Wednesday, December 7th from 10:30 to 11:30, and that also meets in our makerspace. Alan's ukulele club, Fun, the Faribault Ukulele Network, will be meeting 2 times in December, and that will be on Thursday the 8th and Thursday the 16th. If you are interested in joining Fun, you're going to want to contact Alan so you can get all the details about joining this ukulele jam session group. If you've never touched a ukulele before, you can also get in touch with Alan, and she will set up one-on-one instruction with you for her program called Uke Can Make Music, so you can get all the information and tips and tricks you need to get started learning how to play the ukulele. Buck and Book Bingo will kick off on January 3rd, so I just wanted to make sure to get that on your radar now. That is our winter reading program for adults ages 16 and up. And it's always a super popular program as well, because who doesn't love to get rewarded for reading? So make sure you mark your calendars for the kickoff on January 3rd. We are still offering free park passes to Minnesota State Parks. Those are checked out for 7 days. They are not requestable, and you just have to get lucky when you stop in and see that one is available. And then you can use it for 7 days, and then they automatically expire. So stop in and see if you can borrow one of our state park passes. We have 3. We have numerous adventure kits here at your library. They've been super popular. These are to check out with your library card, and they are fun adventures or hobbies, activities you can do solo or with your family. There's bird watching kits and knitting kits, the cricket craft making kit, disc golf. There's the origami kit that has been super popular, and several others. So stop in. These are not requestable, but they can be borrowed for free with your library card. And so stop in and check those out. And don't forget, we're fine free. Almost 1 whole year now that all Faribault Library materials have been fine free. And if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about here, please stay in touch with us. You can follow our website, our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, stop in and see us. We're open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 8, and Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5. You can call us, and you can even email us. We'd love to hear from you. Take good care, everyone, and have a happy holiday season.
Rice County Historical Society. My name is Sue Garwood, and I'm the Executive Director, and we're currently standing in the Rice County Historical Society's Research Library, and with me is President-elect and longtime volunteer Charlotte Johnson. Charlotte, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me.
Absolutely. What I thought would be interesting would be for you all to see some of the work that goes into making sure that our research files are up to date and interesting and accessible. And all of that's possible because of Charlotte. Thank you for that, too. Why don't you share with folks about the project and the files and all that sort of thing?
Okay, we have 45 file drawers full of reference materials. They are predominantly paper. However, every once in a while something different gets in there. We do not keep original postcards nor photographs in the reference files. However, we do make copies of all those items and add them to the files that we have.
And it's important to chime in and add that, of course, we keep those and we collect those. They're just not in our active research files.
Correct.
Those are being kept safely in our photo collection, which is in another space.
And we start out in a general thing. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff in here. We start out with the cemeteries of Rice County. And I don't know if anyone knows, but the only township that does not have a cemetery is Erin Township. All of the rest of our townships have multiple, usually, cemeteries. Some go back to the settlers' time. Some are well kept, some are not. So it's always an interesting thing.
What kind of things do you have in those files that are in the cemetery files?
In the
for example?
cemetery files, there are some diagrams of stones and so forth. There are occasional family histories. For example, the Alexander Faribault and Jean Baptiste family is buried in Calvary Cemetery in a very large lot up there. So things like that, you gain the information. When the regional center closed, a lot of folks were looking for their information. There are several cemeteries that also have those records by the way of a major stone with the residents' names. So,
Cool. And so that's where you start.
that's where I start. And then we go down through churches. Rice County has a lot of churches.
But it's not just churches.
It's churches, it's Islamic Center, Judaism, the Quakers, they all have some sort of a file in here. The evangelical movement, all of that is in our church file. Then we finally get to something that's really exciting and people don't even think about. It's called Villages and Small Towns of Rice County. Now, villages, kind of hard to describe because some of them don't even exist anymore. Things like Epsom and Little Chicago and those kinds of things. But they were still part of our history. So we go through those, and then we have a section dealing with township. And it talks about the township government, if there are businesses in that township, and their history. Then we keep moving on, more villages, more small towns, and we finally get to a larger town, Northfield. And in those cases, we start out with the businesses first, listing the buildings and the businesses. And then we proceed through all the other things that make a town, their city government, their activities, their celebrations. The schools are a separate situation, which we'll get to up here. So after we do Northfield, then we get to Faribault, and Faribault has the same type of thing. We do the businesses, we do the things that we do the city, we talk about the parks, the police department, all of those kinds of governmental agencies. And we do that for those two cities. And then we get to a really cool part, one of my favorites. It's called Clubs and Organizations of Rice County. And I have to put this note in. You know, there's quite a collection here called Rice County Historical Society files. I wonder how that could have happened. So we continue along, and then we get to the schools. We have a file dealing with the district rural schools, which is really pretty cool. Here's more things dealing with the military of Rice County, going back to the Revolutionary War, all of our service people, etc., and the home front during the wars. And for some people of my age, ration cards. So we get back to the schools and we go through the rural schools. Then we do the Faribault district. Then we go down here, and when we get through with Faribault, we have a nice collection on Bethlehem Academy and their marvelous history. So we continue on getting through that, and then we deal with all of the private schools in Faribault, and of course that brings to mind Shattuck St. Mary's. We have a lovely file for them. And then, files, I should say. Then we go on to our secondaries, our college, South Central College with all of its various names. Then we go to the normal school, which was way back. And then we have the colleges, of course, Carleton and St. Olaf. And then we go back to our public institutions. We go back here where we have information dealing with the deaf schools, This is some of the information through the State Academy's long history. And of course, except for the School for the Deaf and the School for the Blind, they have changed. The regional center, as we last knew it, has changed names many, many times through the hundreds of years it's been here. Fortunately, our School for the Deaf and our School for the Blind have retained their names, and they are still doing the wonderful work that they were intended to do. We also have things regarding our state parks, our county parks, such as Nurse Strand. Let me see what I can find here about good old Nurse Strand. Oh yes, good old Nurse Strand, or the Big Woods Park. And again, the Big Woods. Now we go to what we call our topical files, because they are so varied and so different. We have a whole section here on agriculture. Rice County was built on agriculture to begin with. We have things on our crops. We have things on our oxen. Whoever knew we needed oxen in Rice County, but they did. And so forth, etc., all through the years. We have market reports going back to the early 1900s. Little change in prices these days. So then we go through a variety of things. We talk about various issues. We have a big COVID file. I think I ended up counting like 23 different areas that the COVID affected. We have files and information on that. Then we come back to, oh, here's one. Good old prohibition and how that affected Rice County. And of course you know, or perhaps you don't, that Fleckenstein Brewery was one of the few breweries that survived that by changing their beverages that they made. So we're very proud of that. We never get tired of collecting things. We have a large topical thing dealing with all the kinds of sports. The baseball, all the sports, like the Lakers baseball, Belfield, the Northfield team, the Morristown team, they all have their sports. And let me tell you, Rice County loves their sports. In the section of the schools, one of the largest things they have in the school file are their sports. Because somebody will come in and say, well, my grandpa said he played on yada yada team, and do you have any information on that? And we really try to make sure that they do get their information. Which brings me to the fact of how do people get this, gain access to this? Best thing to do is call the museum and try to arrange a time to come in. We will be more than happy to pull any of the files that you're requesting if we have any of that information. We'll also be able to pull up the photograph files and that sort of thing. We do ask that you do make an appointment because we can have those things ready for you, and also to make you aware that those materials will not leave the museum. We would be more than happy to make copies for you, but you will be under the supervision of a staff member at one time. Some of these things are very irreplaceable, and we have a separate file under lock and key of some of our more historic documents, which also can be used for research. These files are totally different. These are what I call my people files. As you can see by the things we have, it's alphabetically ordered, and these are files that deal with individuals. Some of those files have a lot of information in about families or people. Some have only one single thing. Perhaps an obituary, perhaps a wedding announcement, or perhaps somebody's wonderful experience. They just got a big promotion. But these are all Rice County people.
So as Charlotte already mentioned, what we'd like you to do is to make an appointment. Although it's not required, it really does help with all access, make sure that we can be really thorough in pulling the materials for you. As you can imagine, it is not a browsing collection. This is not something where you can just open up a drawer and walk through it like the telephone ads used to say, just walk your way through the telephone. No, in this particular case, this is a collection that is as a special library as one where we need to help you gain access. So you give us your request. Charlotte or myself or one of other volunteers will consult the master list that Charlotte has generated with every single file in every single drawer written down. We'll take a look at where those files are and we'll pull those for you. Then we'll put them away. I think a lot of people assume that because we have the word library, it's like most people are familiar with either the library in your school or the public library, but that's not the case. This is really a special research library. So different systems at play here. All of this material is intended to be made available to the public. We do, however, charge a research fee. It's $10 per hour. Unless you're a member of the Historical Society, and then it's free. And the $10 we prorate it down to the 15 minutes as needed. First 15 minutes are free to make sure that we find something. There's no point in you paying $2.50 for finding nothing. So, with that, you have access to the materials. That's one of the reasons why if you call in advance, you're not waiting, part of that time period, part of that hour isn't spent on us gathering materials. Let us do that outside of the limited time period that you might have, etc. But the materials are available, and again, we're happy to provide access to those because that's why we do what we do. To make an appointment, you can do that by calling the museum at 507-332-2121. We're here Monday through Friday from 9 to 4. Other times are available by appointment. You can reach us on the web at www.rchistory.org. Come to the front door at 1814 Northwest 2nd Avenue on the east end of the Rice County Fairgrounds. Rice County Historical Society, preserving the past one paper doll at a time for the future.
First United Bank and the Junior Board of Directors is proud to support Faribault Community Television.